Hey everybody, this is Joe. I'm here in Houston. I'm in Zone 9B. This is Mrs. Doubtfire, my co-host. It is the 1st of May, and I am starting my video sort of back by the old compost pile, and I'm gonna look in the shade back here, and then I'll do another video in the front yard. I'm gonna start on this amazing Gulf Coast penstemon. I love it. Also called Brazos penstemon. And then back here, I got my little olive tree. And then there's the compost is here, and the leaf pile is here. And in front of it all right here is a wax myrtle, which is a native Texas small tree. It will get, we put it back here, it will have, there are male and female trees. This is new enough that I'm not sure whether this is gonna have berries or not. But we've got our wires here, our electrical lines. This tree will not get as tall as those. It should not ever interfere with those. And that's kind of why I chose a small native tree. And then I've got this gravel back here, and I have not been really weeding this much. So I've got all kinds of funny little things growing in it. Hello, Mrs. I've got Cleome and Amy and Salvia coccinea. And so I've just sort of left it. And then I have, this is a pipe vine. This is Astrolochia tomentosa, and this is the one that actually climbs up, and so that's that is for, hopefully, if I can get some pipevine swallowtail butterflies here, that is for them. And I have another kind also. And then this amazing crinum lily, just gorgeous. And look at the form of that. I love that as much as I love the flower. So beautiful. And because this is late afternoon, you get to see the 4 o'clocks open. Look at that. So pretty. And these come back, you know, I planted them from seed once, and they just come back every year, every year. And there's some Euphorbia Diamond Frost, which is just tough as nails. Once you get it in there, it'll keep coming back. And my first oak leaf hydrangea bloom there. So wonderful. Yeah, once you get these 4 o'clocks going, they will reseed forever. So heaven help you if you want to try to get rid of them. I've finally got my milkweed. I had a milkweed beetle issue that has just trashed my milkweed. So I've picked them off. I swear every morning I would get up and I would eat my breakfast, and I would come out and smash milkweed beetles for 20 minutes. And then I'd come back inside. I know, it was terrible, wasn't it? We hate them, milkweed beetles. So things are finally bouncing back. I have planted a bunch of new milkweed here. And I've got in my pots. That's kind of what this video, I'm going to show you, pots and shade. This is a chili pekin. It is a native Texas plant. It will have little tiny red, very hot chilies on it. And it's also called bird pepper. Birds will come and eat this. And so that's kind of why I planted it for birds. But when I pickle, I will pickle jalapenos. It's called escabeche. Jalapenos, shredded carrots, purple onions, and I'll put it in a little jar. And every once in a while I'll drop just a few, just because I don't want to take them away from the birds. The little things are just about this big, but they show up really bright in my mostly green, green. It's the only red in my little pickle jar, and so it's super cute. Beautiful, beautiful. So I've got these geraniums, scented geraniums, which look beautiful. They're not blooming anymore. Then I've got an ivy geranium that's taken a little rest. And I've got another ivy geranium that's kind of taking a rest, but I've got other ones that are coming. This is a regular geranium, and it's just looking, it's been blooming really nicely for a long time. Here's the finally recovering milkweed. And then look at this, you guys. I don't even know where this came from. This crazy, sort of jagged edged begonia And then I know that's just a different kind I tucked in the bottom. I don't even remember buying that, friends. But I love it. And then in this pot, this is, what's this called? Society garlic. It smells terrible, by the way. It doesn't smell like garlic, it just smells terrible, but beautiful. They're tiny little bulbs. And then coming out of the side is a little salvia. I've lost the tag. It's just a little dwarf. It's not coral nymph. It's more pink than coral, and it's sort of dwarf variety. And I super, super love it. More of that Euphorbia Diamond Frost. And then I left the little elephant ears. What are these called? In here from last year. They did fine over the freeze, it just froze once, and they're just now peeking in. And then I've got more milkweed coming back, and I've got my kalanchoe that I've really trimmed. Now it's time to trim these yellow leaves off of it and kind of give me a new start. And I've got some little globe basils in here I think are going to be cute, spicy globe basil, and some beautiful coleus. And let me finish the pots, and then I'll come show you the shade over there. So this penta, I swear I've never had a penta that looked that good in my life. One of the things I did, just for fun, was I sort of trimmed it up. So let's see if I don't know if I can show you very well. I took the rest of this foliage out and just lifted it so it sort of sits high in the pot. And it's just made it, I don't know, it's made it so pretty. And I've been really vigilant fertilizing every Friday, feeding Friday, just like Monty Don. And man, it's made such a difference. And then y'all, this has been beautiful for absolutely months. It's incredible ivy geranium. Again, feeding every Friday, right? But goodness, I had no idea it would bloom this long. It's been wonderful. And then all more pretty begonias starting to bloom. Look at this. Look at that, y'all. Isn't that amazing? That's amazing. Jewels of Opar seems to do really nicely in very pretty deep shade over here and in a pot, and more coleus and more begonias. This one, there's two kinds in here. This one is never happy, and this one was perfectly happy to be broken off and popped in there. Another one here, slightly different than the one behind me. Really pretty. And then look at this showstopper. And that's several years old, and it goes through its phases. It gets leggy and I chop it back, and it gets pitiful and I chop it back. But fertilizing it and trimming it back when it looks ratty has given me this. I'm so pleased. Here is the one I saved from Lowe's, the $4 table at Lowe's. Goodness, look how beautiful. I love that so much. Here's another beautiful ivy geranium. And here's the third one. And it's kind of putting on a bunch of new buds. Look how beautiful. And then another show-stopping begonia, which I cut that down to a nub, and then I kind of felt like maybe it wasn't coming back. And then poof, off it came. It looks wonderful. Okay, let me walk you back here now. So, this is the other pipevine. It's not a native pipevine, I don't think. This is white-veined pipevine, also called fimbria. It's a Astrolochia fimbriata, and I have yet to see any damage on here that would tell me there were caterpillars. But I also haven't seen any. They're little tiny orange eggs that are laid in a cluster by the butterflies. So that's what I'm looking for. I have not seen any of that yet, but I'm hoping. I do think I saw one of those butterflies last week, but I don't know that it saw this. This is more of that wood fern. This is a southern wood fern, and this is the Dryopteris normalis, that is the name of this particular one. And then we finally got these in the ground. I put new wood fern in. This is what all got trampled after the hurricane by all the power company workmen. Just destroyed all of this. So I had to sort of start kind of from scratch. So I put the wood fern in, and then I put in, this is American beautyberry. I haven't even cut the tags off. What's this called? Calcarpa americana. Beautiful purple berries, and the birds will eat them. And if you're very industrious, you can make jam, which I will not be doing. And then one of the things we did is I took 3 coral berries that I had in giant pots on the patio. They were never happy, and we put them back here. And I think they have spider mites, and so I know I do not use any pesticides in this garden, but I put neem oil on this. I kind of protected everything. There weren't any flowers on it. I don't feel like I'm hurting any particular creature. And so I sprayed the dickens out of this. I trimmed it back a little bit, and I sprayed it with neem oil just to try to get the spider mites to die so that we could have a decent native plant here. And so I felt bad, but I'm like, oh, you know, I hate to throw 3 enormous, for $100 worth of plants out, just because of that. Here is another beautyberry. And then I put in a little dwarf variety of oak leaf hydrangea in the midst of all this shrimp plant that is just starting to bloom back here. And then this is Turk's cap. This is all native as well. Beautiful. I want another coral berry back there, and then this is yet another wax myrtle. I have a slight obsession with wax myrtle. And then let's see, where should I take? So this is all that southern wood fern again. And Mrs. Outfire, I'm gonna disturb you. Oh, I knew I was gonna try to show you this baby kitty. She wasn't having it. More of this beautiful. They're like tiny hibiscus flowers. 4 o'clocks. Here is Walter's viburnum. When you grow it in the shade, it gets really big and tall like this and very open. In the front, I have it facing south. This is the north side of the house. I have it facing south in the shade, and it's very compact, little round mounded shrub. And then this is a big old oak leaf hydrangea that I'm hoping will become, 6 feet tall like the other one. And then this, oh, that's a raccoon. What are you doing, dude? It's a raccoon in the middle of the day. This is Rangoon creeper. It's beautiful. It doesn't ever bloom because it's got too much shade. But it is a beautiful, beautiful plant. So this is more, it's a different color. This is sort of the coral colored Turk's cap back in here. Such a pretty thing. More shrimp plant, a different variety than the ones over there. And then back here, so beautiful, but quite invasive, little did I know. This is inland sea oats. And it will have these are beautiful now, these seed heads, but they get even prettier. But cut them off or you'll have it everywhere. This is a native grass, butterfly host, grows in the shade. And then I've got some more not blooming much Gulf Coast penstemon in here. I'm hoping we'll get some more flowers out of it. A late blooming, this was my mom's amaryllis. It's a huge crinum lily that sort of doesn't get enough sun. Sometimes it'll bloom. Beautiful irises in with the wood fern. And then these are freesias, and they're taking their sweet time blooming. I didn't think they were going to, but I've got some little bloom heads, little bloom spikes there. Horse herb, which is a native plant, which they sell at Buchanan's Native Plants, and I pull up like a weed. So when I saw it for sale, I thought, well, maybe I should leave that. These are asters. These are fall asters that are a butterfly host and will bloom very beautifully in the fall. And then I stuck some asters I saw. This is not the same variety, and so they're just back here quietly blooming. But I couldn't resist them. Minoan lace, which I don't think I'll ever do without. It's just an annual, but it's seeded very well, very easily. I've just bought the seeds online. And then wine cups. I love the wine cups. Miss Doubtfire, what are you up to? What are you up to? Here's Mrs. B.R. Cant. Oh no, that's not Mrs. B.R. Cant. This is Old Blush. That's Old Blush. What was I thinking? And I've got some, just to see what happens, I've got some just regular old onions. I bought onion sets, and just to see if I'm gonna let them bloom just for fun. We'll see what happens, I don't know. This is the Gulf Coast penstemon, and I grew some from seed, and pricking all of this out made my brain hurt, and so I just didn't. I chucked the whole thing in there. And that's a little violet, little wood violet, that's sort of weedy here and there. I don't have much of a problem with it here, and it's a butterfly host, so I leave it. Here's Old Blush. Look how beautiful. Old Blush is a great rose. And this is pretty shady, and that's very shady. And I don't know if you can tell how many spent blooms there are back there. It really blooms surprisingly well in the shade. And then here, these are my mystery seeds that came in my stocking with no real tag. It said garden seeds, and so we'll find out what they are, maybe. Who knows? And then all mixed in together, I've got some pretty big, some smaller ones as well. This is aquatic milkweed. And then, okay, y'all, last year I had these beautiful zinnias, kind of, look, there's 3 colors of zinnias, and I bought them at the store and planted them. I had them in a planter. So when they all sort of pooped out for the winter, I took the whole pot, I took the plant out of the pot, all the seeds, I let all the flower heads dry, and I just left them. I just dropped them here. I kind of shook them a little bit, and I just left them here for a couple of weeks. And then when it looked too tacky, I put them back in the compost, but they left all these seeds. So this is all just volunteer here. And gosh, you can see they really had tons and tons of flowers, even though it's kind of shady over here. And I've got a couple little random things out there. I do like this combination. That's like my color scheme in a nutshell. I just think that's all so pretty. And a Cleome, they always love to be in the gravel, right in the way. And a little Blackfoot daisy, that's a native plant. So sweet. I've found them hard to get going, but once it goes, then I can keep them alive all summer. So I don't know. This I'm noticing is something that's not looking good back here. That's not good. To pull that out, I guess. Here is another big Texas rock rose. I don't know why it will not grow back there, but it's okay. And this is a Plains Coreopsis, which just put itself here. I did not plant this. I have no clue. It just showed up, but I think it's beautiful. I love this. I really will allow you, this is a different Coreopsis. What is this? It'll come to me. But it is the sort of pale yellow that I grudgingly allow in the garden sometimes. This is not, but it's so pretty, I'm not pulling it up. Lance leaf Coreopsis is what that is. And here is the little fleece flower, which I really like. And then here's my weed patch, and I know this is insane, but I just let some things grow. These are just sort of wildflowery, weedy things. And I just let this be a mess. This is the air conditioning unit back here, and this is the generator. And I just kind of I want to see what comes up. There's one thing back here I know is a butterfly host. Not that I've ever seen a caterpillar on it, but I kind of don't want to pull it up that much. That's this. cudweed, and it's ugly. Like, that's the flower. Ugh, so ugly. But this is a curiosity. We'll just call this the curiosity corner. What will come up? I have like anywhere from little violas to Texas bluebonnets to who knows what. This was a dandelion, maybe. I don't know what this is. I think this might be that might be goldenrod. I don't know, but oh no, I don't think it is, because I think it has these little white flowers. Here's some. But yeah, I'm just letting it to see what happens. Look at those little guys, little seed heads. And this, I think, is like a native sort of some kind of, what's it called? Mountain parsley or something. I can't remember, but I just, it looks a mess, but it's kind of fun to see what shows up. Martha Gonzalez, always pretty around the corner because it's not in my color scheme. Here, this is Arrowwood viburnum, just about ready to bloom. It doesn't bloom for long, but it gives you berries. It's native, and the birds like those berries. Here is more of that grass. This is the inland sea oats, but mixed in is another plant. See, I'm not thinking well today. What is the name of this? I'll think of it in a minute. Goodness gracious, look at this. This is nonsense. It's so huge. Pardon the noise, but I wanted to show you two more things back here. This is native coral honeysuckle. Amazing. Orange, right? Around the corner from my color scheme. And then this is a coral berry, and it does not have spider mite. And look how gorgeous it is if they don't have spider mite. And then you can see through to the front yard, and that's a wax myrtle and some southern wood fern back in there. And I'll stop. Oh, there's your other co-host. There's Buttercup. Hey, Butters. What you doing, buddy? I'll end with Buttercup and this beautiful, beautiful pot of begonias. Hi, Pumpkin. Are you the sweetest one? Did you catch a butterfly twice, and I had to make you let go of the butterfly? Yes. He loves to stalk a butterfly. Well, you guys, thank you for coming and taking a look at my garden, and I hope you'll look at my other video that I made of sort of the center of the garden, and then another one for the front yard, possibly all in one. I hope you're having a great time in your garden. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.